Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Operation Freedom Briefings. The goal of these briefings in my weekly radio show, Operation Freedom, which airs every Sunday from the People's Republic of Ann Arbor, every Sunday from 2 to 5 Eastern. You can stream it live, free, by the way. All you have to do, every Sunday, 2 to 5 Eastern, go to davejanda.com, hit the Listen Live button toward the top of the homepage. That will take you to Wham Talk 1600 streaming service. Hit play and you're with us. Great guests, great analysis. The goal of that show, of this YouTube presentation, of my website, davejanda.com, is to provide information that will empower you, that will enable you to take on the freedom-stripping agenda of the deep state. A tentacle of theirs, the bought-off lamestream fake media, is feeding you propaganda 24/7. And our goal is to protect you from that propaganda, from their freedom-stripping agenda. Today's presentation is entitled Renouncing the Deep State. Two examples, recent. General Flynn and a patriot by the name of Tony B. General Flynn, we have gone into great detail with about his, not prosecution, persecution. And if it were not for the tenacity, the courage, the dedication, the perseverance, the sacrifice of General Flynn, his family, and his phenomenal attorney, Sidney Powell, General Flynn, the patriot, would have been framed, persecuted further, and put into jail. Why? General Flynn is an existential threat to the deep state. He is a leader. He has held positions of power and positions that enable him to have a knowledge base of the deep state and their skeletons and where they all are. Which is why it was the first objective of the deep state after Donald Trump had been elected in 2016 to get rid of General Flynn, to get him off the political battlefield, because he knew where all the bodies were buried. I truly believe our country would have been in a far better situation right now if he was left in place, and the deep state could well have been completely wiped out by now, which is why he was targeted, and still is to this day. The current choke point to General Flynn's freedom is a deep state judge by the name of Emmett Sullivan. The Department of Justice, when they reviewed his case, revealed that evidence that showed of his innocence was withheld from General Flynn and his counsel. That General Flynn, in fact, had not committed a crime. And in fact, that General Flynn had been framed and persecuted. That decision that they rendered, that they were dropping all charges, was on May 7th of this year, 2020. Yet here we are, coming up into November of 2020. And the judge still has not granted the motion to dismiss. This is because the deep state and their tool, Emmett Sullivan, the judge, are dragging their feet. Has this ever been done in the history of our country? Not that I'm aware of, not that any lawyer that I've spoken to is aware of. Yet the persecution continues. And most people that would be in that position would be very quiet, would shut up. But not Patriot General Flynn. I'm going to read you a letter he recently wrote to every American. And it was published, I believe, on the site Western Journalism. Stand with me. Renounce the left and hold the line on November 3rd. Wait, you're saying, wait, I didn't hear this on CBS, NBC, ABC. I didn't even hear about it on Fox. That's right. Because they are all flavors of the same deep state ice cream. Yeah, even Fox. I've talked about this for years, gotten a lot of grief, but it's true. Many people are now starting to come to my opinion that I voiced over 10 years ago. If you look at the management of Fox, the Murdochs. They sit on the board of the Council on Foreign Relations. That's a globalist think tank, implementation arm of the deep state. No, they're part of the problem. They're not part of the answer. Yeah, there's some good players at Fox. Tucker and Ingram and Lou Dobbs and Elizabeth McDonald and a number of others. I'm not particularly fond of Sean Hannity's wearing of he does a good job, but fairly good job. But the CIA lapel pin, sorry, man, that's you'll never see that on this guy. No, not that crew, and what they pull in our country, as we've outlined before. So let's get to General Flynn's letter, because you need to hear about it. You're not going to hear it from another source, unfortunately. From General Flynn. We are a nation founded by leaders who fought tyranny and oppression to ensure that all American citizens be treated fairly and equally across this land. These constitutional and God-given rights should never be denied, stolen, or silenced by false persecutions in his case, or political persecutions driven by fear, hatred, or animosity. Those who scowl at the very core of our republic and act from vengeance or revenge against one of us threaten the safety and security of all of us. Never should our nation, our president, or any family or individual be so viciously targeted, maligned, smeared, and threatened as we have all felt for the past 4 years and counting. This unconscionable and seditious direct attack by ideologically driven elitists strikes at the will of the American people who ensure our very freedoms through their vote and daily selfless actions. We cannot allow the opposing leftist agenda to continue enabling the fleecing of America, peddling a connected influence for cash, exploiting American innovation for an elitist self-serving purpose, wielding official power and influence as a means to ensure personal gain while exercising mass control and selling out our American ideals for ideologies to pursue what the leftists would like as, quote, common and normal, end quote. Editorial comment here. General Flynn is describing a number of different families, the most recent of which has come into light has been the Biden family. Dave Janda speaking, not General Flynn on that one. General Flynn goes on. These all diminish the power and purpose inherent in we, the people, who constitute our republic. I ask that you stand with me today in renouncing this betrayal of trust that has burdened our nation and breached the foundation of our American beliefs and ideals. Let us proclaim with one united voice across the land that we will hold the line and never allow the rightful power of the citizens of the United States of America to be uprooted, undercut, usurped, or held hostage by a coup against our nation, a duly elected president, or any future president of these United States. I want you to think about this statement for one moment. It is inconceivable that America would ever experience a coup, but that is precisely what has been happening. The events of these past 4 years are testing the will of our nation. We fight not for a government, a political party, an oligarchy, a king, a royal family, an ideology, or a central committee, or to protect material possessions. As Americans, we fight for our freedoms, for precious ideals built on a foundation of God-given rights that ensure our way of life and all around us. These are what we must be prepared to defend with our very lives. Our core American ideals and values, codified by our founding fathers in the Declaration of Independence and by the framers of our Constitution, have stood the test of time only with our support. It requires that we judiciously exercise our right to vote into office accountable individuals, as well as our responsibility to question and hold those elected, appointed, and unelected officials to account. Together, all of America continues to overcome this enormous hurdle. While we may falter from time to time, we will not fail. When we do falter, we must help each other get back on our feet, dust ourselves off, and face head-on whatever lies ahead. In the breach, we continue to be relentlessly tested with false accusations, untruths, and hatreds for our beliefs and for raising our voices. But we cannot be deterred, and our bonds of liberty must not break. On the strength of one link in the cable depends on the might of the chain. Let the strength of your family be the first link. Add to it your neighbors, your community, and your friends. We are all one nation under God and one people, Americans. To all Americans, what we choose to do in this life should not be stopped by fear, an emotion manifested by illusion. Never allow fear into your heart or allow it to trick you. Instead, embrace uncertainty as a driving force for discovery and understanding. Accept the risk that comes with daily sacrifice. Work to overcome the sheer magnitude of life's challenges, especially during this crucible of our nation's history. Our very survival as the nation we were conceived to be, a constitutional republic, is at stake. Yes, America, we are under attack and on trial. The leftists question our greatness, our potential, and the very rights all Americans enjoy. And while we face what appears to be insurmountable odds, patriots united will win because we are the keepers of that shining city on the hill. And we will not be deterred from accomplishing our mission and performing our duty. Despite the extraordinary challenges faced, American patriots always rise up to defend our faith, our families, our homes, our honor, and our nation. And today, perhaps more than ever before, America requires tried, true, and tested patriots to lead the way and ensure the future of our children and grandchildren. As soon as the American majority rises up in one voice to hold evil to account, that is when evil will take the easy way out and implement its escape plan. Evil will drown in a sea of accountability. When our rule of law is seriously threatened, when our thin blue line is under grave assault, when our churches and synagogues are endangered, when socialism is pounding our gates down, we must stand firm in the breach and hold all bad actors to account. Even framer Benjamin Franklin, departing the Constitutional Convention in 1787, when asked if we were a monarchy or a republic, he stated, quote, "A republic, if you can keep it," end quote. Patriots, let's keep it. Send a clear, loud, and strong message to the world with our votes on November 3rd that we choose freedom. Vote in person and vote for President Donald J. Trump and every Republican on the ballot. Never has your vote been more important. As we face Election Day in this time of trial, always remember that in the end, there is only one who is the ultimate judge of our American destiny. America must forever remain, quote, "one nation under God," end quote. God bless America. Lieutenant General Michael Flynn. And there you have it. Renouncing the left, renouncing the deep state, renouncing what the deep state is all about. Oppression and evil. You know, there's been a lot going on this week as it relates to the Biden criminal syndicate. It's the only way to put it. I spoke about it on Sunday's radio show. In fact, because our subscribers thought it was a very important segment, we actually put it on this YouTube channel yesterday, free of charge for you and for you to network. Doesn't do any good just sitting there. So far, we've escaped we're censored to a huge degree. Just look at the view counts, how they censor. We're not putting the search rankings. The subscribers are continually deleted from our account on YouTube. But so far, our YouTube channel, Operation Freedom, stands. I believe it's because, well, we've taken the extra measures to try to remain viable. And remember, if that channel is taken down, where you will always find my content is at davejanda.com. I frankly don't mess around with other platforms. And the reason is because they'll also be taken down eventually. So YouTube, I do this for you, for your benefit. But if we are taken down, you'll always find me at davejanda.com. We've done a lot of dissecting of what's really going on with this Hunter Biden laptop, or laptops. But this was put on social media, and I believe it's very accurate about what it's really all about. Because there's a lot of smoke and mirrors out there. And the bought-off lamestream fake media doesn't want anybody to touch this, right? I mean, accounts suspended about this and the like. But this was on social media, and it's very accurate. Just to be clear, Hunter Biden left his laptop at a computer repair shop. The computer shop made a copy of Hunter's hard drive. The FBI took possession of Hunter Biden's laptop in December 2019. More on that in a minute. It's actually worse than that. The computer repair shop gave a copy of the hard drive to Rudy Giuliani. The FBI has hid the contents of Hunter's laptop. The New York Post was given the contents by Giuliani. By the way, why did Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI, protect the Bidens? And it was said by the left, their response, and the Biden response was, it's a smear campaign. Well, that's not a denial. It might be smear, but it's accurate. And people need to know that the vice president of the United States, while he was vice president, then after, was bought and paid for by China, by Russia, by Ukraine, by Romania, by Kazakhstan, and I'm sure more to come. You name the country, and I'm sure this guy has been paid off, and his family, and his friends around him, as we'll get to in a minute. And then then the left's response, the deep state puppets response, the Pelosi's, the Schumers, the bought-off lamestream fake media tentacle of the deep state. Well, this is Russian disinformation. Really? Well, that kind of got blown apart. No, it actually did get blown apart when Director of National Intelligence John Radcliffe, the FBI, and the Department of Justice came out and said, hey, oh, by the way, these emails are real, and this laptop isn't part of Russian disinformation. It's actually truth. Deal with it. And then one of Hunter Biden's business partners, Devin Cooney, came forward and said, yeah, these emails are legit, and I was CC'd on them. And then an individual came forward by the name of Tony B. Tony Bobolinsky. He held a news conference, not that the bought-off lamestream fake media covered it, on the same night as the last presidential debate, last Thursday. And I want to read part of his statement because, again, just like General Flynn's renouncing the left, Tony Bobolinsky renounces the deep state money laundering operation that Biden and the Clintons and Obamas and, frankly, the Bushes have all been involved in. But he was specific with his dissection based on his personal experience with the Bidens, that this wasn't Russian disinformation. This is, in fact, accurate, what's on the laptop. Here's what he says and said. My name is Tony Bobolinsky. The facts set forth are true and accurate. They are not in any form of domestic or foreign disinformation. Any suggestion to the contrary is false and offensive. I am the recipient of the email published 7 days ago by the New York Post, which showed a copy to Hunter Biden and Rob Walker. The email is genuine. This afternoon, I received a request from the Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Government Affairs and the Senate Committee on Finance requesting all documents relating to my business affairs with the Biden family as well as various foreign entities and individuals. I have extensive relevant records and communications. I intend to produce those items to both committees in the immediate future. I am the grandson of a 37-year Army intelligence officer, the son of a 20-plus year career naval officer, and the brother of a 28-year career naval flight officer. I myself served our country for 4 years and left the Navy as Lieutenant Bobolinsky. I held a high-level security clearance and was an instructor and then CTO for Naval Nuclear Power Training Command. I take great pride in the time my family and I served this country. I am also not a political person. What few campaign contributions I have made in my life were to Democrats. If the media and big tech companies had done their jobs over the past several weeks, I would be irrelevant in this story. Given my long-standing service and devotion to this great country, I could no longer allow my family's name to be associated or tied to Russian disinformation or implied lies and false narratives dominating the media right now.